Okay, so we've all been there, right? Sitting on that crinkly paper on the examination table, looking around at all these mysterious gadgets. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify the essential tools you find in pretty much any doctor's office. You're sitting there, the nurse or doctor comes in with all these tools and machines, and you just kind of have to wonder, what is all that stuff for? What does it all do? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into right now. First up, let's talk about the diagnostic toolkit. You can think of these as the doctor's superpowers. They're like their enhanced eyes and ears, letting them figure out what's really going on inside your body. We'll start with the very first thing that happens in almost every single visit.
Yeah, let's start with a real classic, that inflatable cuff. You know exactly the one I'm talking about. That squeeze on your arm? It's way more than just a routine check.
Its job is absolutely crucial. What it's doing is measuring the pressure inside your arteries, and that gives the doctor a vital snapshot of your cardiovascular health. As it deflates, they're listening for these really specific sounds that tell them your systolic and diastolic pressures. It's truly one of the most fundamental data points they can possibly get. All right, next up, the absolute icon of the medical profession. You almost always see it hanging around a doctor's neck. But, it's not just a fashion accessory. And for good reason. The stethoscope lets the doctor listen to the internal symphony of your body. Little fun fact here, it was actually invented back in the early 1800s by a French doctor who felt it was a bit improper to put his ear directly on a female patient's chest. Today, it lets doctors check for a steady heart rhythm and clear breathing, picking up on these subtle sounds like murmurs that would be completely impossible to hear otherwise. Now here's a tool we all know and have probably used at home, but in the clinic, it's a critical first-line indicator. And thankfully, they've evolved quite a bit from those old-school mercury and glass ones, right? See, your body temperature is kind of like an early warning system. A spike, a fever, is often the very first sign that your body is busy fighting off an infection. It's a super simple, super fast measurement that tells a really big story about what's going on inside. And just like that, with only 3 simple tools, the doctor gets a clear, immediate picture of your vital signs. We're talking blood pressure, heart and lung function, and body temp. This creates the essential baseline for the entire rest of the exam. Now this is really interesting because it clears up something a lot of people get mixed up. You've got these 2 instruments that look almost identical, but they do totally different jobs. The otoscope lets a doctor look deep into your ear canal to check out the eardrum. The ophthalmoscope, on the other hand, is designed to examine the interior of your eye, to look at the retina and optic nerve. So 2 tools, 2 very critical windows into your health. So we've covered the handheld tools. They gather all that initial data. But to get the full picture, you need a physical exam. And that's where the bigger stuff, the examination essentials, come into play. This is the equipment that really sets the stage for the checkup. We're talking about the core fixtures that really define the space. The examination table, the patient stool, the scale, and that bright exam lamp. They might seem pretty basic, but each one plays a really important role in making the exam work. The exam table really is the centerpiece of the whole room, and it is so much more than just a place to sit. It's specifically designed, often with adjustable heights and positions, to let the doctor properly conduct a really thorough physical examination. And of course, you've got the scale. Your weight is another one of those fundamental pieces of data for tracking your overall health over time. You pair that with the exam lamp, which gives that bright, clear light needed for precision, and these tools make sure that absolutely nothing gets missed during the physical check. This all brings us to our final and maybe the most important idea. It is so easy to see all these things as just separate objects scattered around a room, but they're actually part of a much bigger, carefully designed system of care. This is really the key takeaway. Everything in that room, from the tiniest tool all the way to the big exam table, is part of a single, unified system. It's all been designed and refined over decades to work together for one single purpose, giving you effective medical care. Just think about how it all works together. The diagnostic tools, they provide the raw data. The furniture, that enables the physical access needed for the examination. And even the stuff you don't think about, like the desk and the filing cabinets, they play a critical role in organizing all that information. It's all a beautifully coordinated system, with you, the patient, sitting right at the center of it all. So we've broken down this incredible system of care, a system that's been refined over decades, but that leaves us with a really fascinating question for the future. We see how this system works today, but how will a force as powerful as artificial intelligence transform all of it? from the diagnosis itself to how data is managed in, say, the next 10 years. Now that is something to think about.